तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषण्यवादी पश्चात्तदेशचत्कारणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वदेसे नाथाय रघुनाथाय सीताय पतये नमः। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरं गिरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वंदे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। प्रणाम, जय श्री राम for everybody. We'll continue understanding the quality of Dharmagya. Yesterday we saw the integration between the next two qualities, Dharmagya and Kartagya, how they are connected to the previous quality, Gunavan and Viryavan. One of the very interesting point, whether it is Sri Ramachandra or Sri Krishna, you cannot catch them for one quality, right? Many great personalities, they are identified with specific qualities. When we study Lord Buddha, ahimsa, right? And then some political leader also, ahimsa. The Christian preacher, Jesus Christ, for forgiveness. Hitler for cruelty. Somebody else for great charitable activity. So what happens, these qualities, these specific qualities, no one can exhibit the same quality at all the time. It requires lot of propaganda, lot of narratives. And even those who are exhibiting these qualities, to some extent, more than other qualities, they start identifying only with that qualities to the extent of becoming extremely stubborn, unchangeable in regards to their so-called value system, which is not flexible. And therefore, when we read Valmiki's Ramayana, Sri Ramachandra here, none of these qualities are in isolation. And the foundation of all this quality is his magnanimity. Now, how he exhibits that magnanimity, that depends upon the situation. And therefore, it is raised, they raise a question in the logic in the Nyaya Shastra, that Karuna and Krodha, are they opposite to each other? Are they basically contradictory in regards to one is good and one is bad? Not necessarily. Just like Karuna is one of the rasa in the Rasa Shastra, Bharat Muni explains, similarly Krodha is also one of the rasa. When there is an overemphasis of one quality over other quality, either Karuna is overemphasized or Krodha is overemphasized. You become stubborn about Krodha, you become stubborn about Karuna, then that very Krodha and Karuna can turn into Visha instead of Rasa. So therefore, when Valmiki Maharshi describes the entire Ramayana, as we discussed, Ramayana is not based upon trying to discuss, enumerate different qualities of Sri Ramachandra. Valmiki Maharshi asked that question, Narad Muni narrated the pastimes of Sri Ramchandra Bhagwan. And then Valmiki Maharshi expanded this qualities into the entire narration of Sri Rama's life. And within that, you will find sometime that same quality, the same foundational principle appearing as Krodha few times, appearing as Hasya, appearing as magnanimity, appearing as strong will, appearing as Sarva Priya Darshana, most attractive. But whatever qualities Sri Ramachandra exhibits, the foundational reason for this quality is for bringing all the living entities closer to the principle of cooperative life, devotional life, right? And living a life of integration. So today, when we study Dharmagya, now Dharmagya, the quality of Dharmagya, now word Dharma generally is seen as a religion. हम किसी भी धर्म का पालन नहीं करते. Such a stupid statement, right? Or sometime the practicing spiritualist, without understanding the right depth of the dharma principle, they use the word of the Bhagavatam wrongly. Dharma projita kaitavatra. Right? So that means Bhagavat gives up all kinds of adharma. It focuses on Bhagavat dharma, which is the Sarupa dharma of the living entity. That is between the Jiva and Bhagavan. But here, Sri Ramachandra came to this world for the purpose of establishing dharma. So what is his dharma? What is that dharma which Sri Ramachandra practiced? Because somebody focuses on Bhagavad Dharma, somebody focuses on Rashtra Dharma, somebody focuses on Putra Dharma, somebody else focuses on, the Raja Dharma, right? Everybody focuses on different dharma, but what is that dharma which Valmiki Maharshi explains about Sri Ramachandra? And when we study carefully, we realize, as we discussed yesterday, the dharma of Sri Ram, the constitutional nature of Sri Ram, is the nature of karuna. The karuna to elevate the living entity, the karuna to uplift the living entity, the karuna to give chance to every living entity in such a way that he or she will attain their constitutional nature through their disposition of Varna Dharma. So we study that Maricha, right, the great Rakshasa, during the festival of Ram Lala's Prana Pratishtapan, those who attended the function, they were given a special bag, a gift bag, which had prasad, a book, a charanamrit, dust of Ayodhya, beautiful package. And on the front side of the bag, it was written Ramo Vigravan Dharma. Ramo Vigravan Dharma, that was the verse, only one part of the verse was written. The complete verse is Ramo Vigravan Dharma Sadhu Satya Parakrama Raja Sarvasya Lokasya Jivanamiva Sadhava. Right, Vasava. So Maricha is speaking this to Ravan, having a clear experience of Lord Ramachandra, not once but twice. Ramo Vigravan Dharma. Hey Ravan, he said the entire personality of Sri Ramachandra is the personification of Dharma itself. Ram and Dharma are synonymous to each other. And who is he? Sadhu Satya Parakramaha. Right? He is Sadhu Satya Parakrama. Limitless Parakrama is there. Raja Sarvasya Lokasya. Hey Ravan, he's Raja. Raja means what? The word means Raja means Praja Ranjati iti Raja, according to Mahabharata. One who is able to entertain his Praja is called as Raja. And he is the king, he is the master of the Devas. And therefore, you don't mess up with him. Why did Maricha say this? Because in the very first time when he came to meet Sri Ram, that was the first encounter with all the Rakshasas who were continuously causing trouble in the Yajna of Vishwamitra Muni. Subahu, Tataka, and Marich. Right? Even the story of killing Tataka is extremely significant. We will discuss some other time. It had such a great political, during that time, the geopolitical, impact. So when Ramachandra killed Jatayu, Tataka and Subahu, he shot an arrow to Marich. And that arrow was a Manavastra. Right? That Manavastra had a principle of humanitarian. How can somebody escape Ramachandra's arrow and continue to live? Right? But Marich had to be one of the instrument. But Valmiki Maharshi cannot explain that story. Neither he says this. What he does is he keeps it as it is, without giving any explanation. And therefore, sometimes some people use this story, the very hardcore Hindu right wing, sometime for the right reason, that sometime our people learn wrong. Shatru Shesha Asheshata. A Shatru should not be left alone even if he is one person, because he can bring back people. So Ram knows all the Rajatantra, but he still let him go because two things. One is giving a chance to Maricha, and second, making him one of the main instruments for coming close to Ravan. Right? So this Maricha had so much of respect for Ram out of fear. He said, who in the world, my dear Ravan, has been your enemy? You are enjoying your Lanka nicely. Who in the world? They are not your friends. They must be your enemy. They are coming and telling you to do this. Do not ever try to do this. Right? He chased him away. Ravan goes back and reappears. That's a different story. Second, fast forward, Sita Devi is encountering Ravan. Right? Now, Sita Devi had a great sanskar, sanskriti, culture. So, as it was a tradition, if you're talking to someone who is not part of your family, an unknown person, a woman, to create a barrier between herself and him. Imagine what she must have gone through. That same Ravan, he misused the trustworthiness. He misused the power of compassion of Sita Devi and kidnapped her. And she had to face him. Right? She is facing Ravan. Ravan is basically offering her all kinds of temptation, praloban, as if she will accept it. Right? He said, hey Sita, he said, never ever imagine that your husband can come here to Lanka. It is not penetrable. Impossible. You lose your good youth. Rather than losing your youth, why don't you take shelter of me? I will make you my queen. Right? To that, of course, Mother Sita Devi gives lot of strong statement, but again, she's also compassionate. But the way she explains the magnanimity, karunya of Sri Ramachandra is little different. She says, uh, Sharanagata Vatsalaha. My Ram is Sharanagata Vatsala. Tena Maitri Bhavatute Yadi Jivitam Ichhami. She told Ravan, she didn't speak about, Are usko Sharan mein chale jao. Natamastak ho jao. Give up everything and surrender to Ramchandra. She said no. She made Karunya, she made Sharanagati in a way which is palatable to Ravan. What she called is make friendship with Sri Ramachandra. If you make friendship with Ramachandra, if you make Maitri with Ramachandra, I guarantee that your life will be protected. And same thing Vibhishan also told to Ravan. He said, give all kinds of gift to Sita Devi. And through those gifts, you actually go and pacify Sri Ramachandra. In this way, the entire Lanka and your Kula will be protected. But Ravan, rather than accepting the proposal of Vibhishan, he kicked him with his left foot. Right? He chased him away. That was a different story. And then, when Ram kills Wali, the question is raised, when Lord Ram killed Wali, was it dharmic on his part? Wali had not done anything to Sri Ramachandra. It was a personal family matter between Wali and Sugriva. How in the world Ram got involved in it? Just because Sugriva was supporting him? Was it right on the part of Sri Ramachandra? Again, one should know the act of Wali was certainly full of adharma because he had kidnapped somebody else. Not only kidnapped, he chased away his dharmic brother. And it was presented by Hanumanji so nicely, with fair understanding. And the best part is, when Wali accepted the challenge of Sugriv, as far as I understand, second time, one should read the warning given by Tara, Sugriva's Wali's wife. And her warning is full of wisdom. Her warning was full of alertness. Her warning was full of proper information received from everybody about the character of Sri Ramachandra, about the qualities of Lord Ramachandra, about the power of Lord Ramachandra, and also friendship what he has made with Sugriv. And therefore, she told, how in the world one who is beaten by you has the courage to challenge you? Do you not understand this? Right? So rather than listening to the wise advice of his wife, he basically insulted her. Right? He insulted her. And therefore, we see this, Wali was judiciously killed by Sri Ramachandra. And if you read that part where Wali basically criticizes Sri Ram, calling that your dharma is all superficial, there is no dharma in you, there is dharma abhas, right? How could you do all these things? But Sri Ram gave profound understanding, saying that it is the responsibility of Raghukula. My father has given the responsibility of Ayodhya, and he has given the responsibility to Bharat, and he has given the responsibility of all the forest. And whoever goes against Dharma, it is my duty, it is my responsibility. Therefore, whatever I have done, I have not done anything against the principle of Dharma. And actually, Wali realizes this. And one of the poet explained that Lord Ramachandra asked him, I can give back life to you. I can remove that arrow. Right? He has the power to take life and give life also. But Wali was pacified, accepted the shelter of Sri Ramachandra. And the beauty is one of the reasons why Ramachandra hid from Wali. If Wali would see Ram, and he could have taken his shelter. And he could have said, I can do this, I can do this, I can do that. So taking help of Wali would go against his dharma. Wali needed the punishment, he received the punishment, and after killing him, naturally Tara was very upset. She knew the greatness of Lord Ram, but she was very upset. And Tara came there with great anger. But seeing the magnanimity of Sri Ramachandra, feeling the magnanimity of Ramachandra, experiencing the magnanimity of Ramachandra, instantly she turned around. Right? And therefore, Lord Ram, very rare cases in Ramayana, only Tara and Mandodari, they got to see the four-handed form of Lord Ramachandra. And therefore it is explained, Roshopi Pritaya Syat. What is that quality? Again, that dharmic quality. Even if there is anger, the purpose of that anger is not conflicting with his karuna. Rather, anger becomes one of the limbs of karuna, or karuna becomes one of the limbs of anger, but the conclusion is the same. That living entity is elevated to the higher reality. When Sri Ramachandra was missing Mother Sita Devi, right? And he made this very clear to Hanumanji that he could not live without Mother Sita even for one muhurta. But Sri Ram lived for 10 months. How is it possible? Hanumanji, when he saw Mother Sita Devi, we discussed that he approved the marriage of Sita Ram. He said, for bringing Sita Devi back to Ayodhya, even Sri Ram has to make the entire earth upside down. He should do that. That is very important for him to do. And therefore he approved his marriage, and he said, how in the world, Ram is able to survive? I thought I did the greatest Dushkara Karya, crossing over the ocean. But Sri Ram, having these four experiences, Karunya, Andrishamsya, Shoka and Viraha. Karunya, because Sita Devi was an Abala and he could not protect her, and therefore there is deep Karuna in his heart. Andrishamsa, right? Because he is not cruel. Imagine when Sri Ram sees Ravan first time, even Hanumanji also, when they see first time, what is the response of Sri Ram? After seeing Ravan first time, who is the kidnapper of, wow, what a power, what disposition he has. If he was a dharmic, then he could rule the entire world. Pehle Bhagwan, after seeing Ravan, he saw something good in him. Unfortunately, in the modern spirituality, there is so much of narrow-mindedness in the name of loyalty. Right? Loyalty without Shastra makes one see everyone is not doing what they are doing. There are some so-called bhaktas, spiritualists, right? Their goal is to see how this person is not Ram conscious, how this person is not Krishna conscious. They have their own parameters, right? They see everything through that parameter, neither seeing what Prahlad Maharaj taught, nor seeing what Lord Ramachandra taught, right? Giving an opportunity. Seeing that spirit in Ravan also was the first encounter of Lord Ramachandra, and therefore our Lord Ram was willing to give that facility to Ravan also, right? Therefore there is no cruelty, andrishamsa. And third is Shoka. Right? Imagine 10 months he is separated from Mother Sita. And how will he, Ram's hands, the ring finger, the ring in his finger, Hanumanji explains this to Mother Sita Devi. In the separation of Sita Devi, that ring could go to his wrist only. इतने उनके हाथ पतले बन गए हैं. Sita felt very sad. But knowing that Sri Ramachandra is suffering because of me, separation, तो वहां एक प्रकार का सुख भी था. ये वाल्मीकि महर्षि है, right? Contradictory emotions are integrated so beautifully. And the fourth is Viraha. When there is such a wife like Sita Devi, Shoka turned into Viraha. And Ram was constantly going through these four things. And still, if he was able to sustain his life, he was much greater than all the Dushkarya did by Hanumanji. And that is another quality of Dharmatma, to suffer because of other suffering. Another very interesting principle is of Lakshman. Lakshman, imagine, is fighting Indrajit. He is called as Bahir Prana. Right? He is an external, his entire existence is connected to Ram only. He knows Ram completely. Every breath of Ram, every idea of Lord Ram, every movement of Lord Ram. Lakshman was breathing. He's Shesha. Right? And he was very powerful also. During when Vishwamitra Muni initiated, right? He initiated into the mantras. It is explained that Lakshman did not take initiation from Vishwamitra Muni. He said, you give it to my brother, my guru, my Bhagavan, my father, my mother, everything is my Lord Ram only. I can only receive whatever I need to receive. I have to receive from Lord Ramachandra. And he was fighting his battle. He was fighting the battle with this great Indrajit, who had captured Indra. He had defeated Indra. Right? He had Brahmastra also. Hanumanji allowed himself to be captured by Indrajita. So when the battle was going on between the two, what happened? It was a final moment when Lakshman had to vanquish this great, so-called great Indrajit. Where did he derive the strength from? So he explains, if Ram is Dharmatma and Satya Sandasya, if Ram is Dharmatma and Satya Sandasya, let my arrows, let this arrow which I am going to release take the life of Indrajit. He was basically doing self-assessment. My commitment, my dedication, right? If it is actually proper dedication and to the proper person, then let, in the name of Lord Ramachandra, let the arrow pierce Indrajit and let him lose his life. Imagine how much Lakshman was called as Bahir Prana, so much connected to Lord Ramachandra. And what happened? As he shot the arrow, Indrajit came down to the ground. And that was, in one sense, defeat of Ravan. He lost his son. And son means, according to Mahabharata, the very son of a father, especially for Ravan, Indrajit was like his very Atma. Shakuntala explains this to Dushyanta Maharaj, कि Putra is none other than the very Atma of the father. Ravan lost his life through losing the life of Indrajit. And then our Ram, when he saw, there are many more stories we will discuss tomorrow, when Lord Ramachandra saw Lakshman, we discussed that, was so angry, upset with his father for sending Ram. Ram said, hey Lakshman, there is no greater dharma than to follow the orders of our father and our mother, Kai also. Therefore, there is no argument about this. And in that, on a superficial level, he was following Dasharath Maharaj and Kai. On the higher level, Ramachandra was simply being kind, compassionate, magnanimous. He was waiting to fulfill the promise which he had made to the Devatas of killing Ravan and re-establishing Dharma. But the beauty of Lord Ramachandra, for killing Ravan, he did not disobey the father's order. For being a very ideal son of his father, he did not give up his other dharma, and therefore the beauty what one can learn from Sri Ramachandra, this dharmagya quality is the quality of great integration, not being bound by one quality, using everything for the foundational quality of dharmagya. That means being extremely accessible and causing a positive impact in the life of every living entity. Thank you.